Hi, I'm Wendy Strgar, and I am an award-winning entrepreneur. I own Good Clean Love, and I also have a radio show called theopeningdoor.com, and I'm a pretty well-known contributor to a lot of large blogs like Huffington Post and Care2, and I'm mostly a loveologist, which means that I write and study and think about love all the time. And my corporate mission in everything I do is about helping other people to actually experience love in the most deep and fulfilling way that they can. So I actually am launching this video blog right here in my home in Eugene, Oregon, and I'm doing it. I just turned 51 last week. I'm doing it because I just decided it's time for me to just share what I know and stop thinking about how it looks. So some days maybe I'm going to be a mess, but I'm always going to tell you the truth about what it is to love people. And I'm going to do it in as many different ways as I can. So I hope you'll keep tuning back, because this is going to be really fun. We're going to do it in a lot of really fun ways. And I promise that at every single turn, when you take a couple minutes to listen to me, you will learn more about what it means to love in your own life. Because truthfully, love is a skill-based situation. It's a seed that's born in each of us, but it's also something that we can all learn. And God bless. Thank goodness that we can all learn it, because none of us is born very good at it. Some of us are blessed to be born into a home where people actually are fairly functional and they know how to love. But that is not true for the majority of us. But here's the thing, you actually can learn how to love. And it's 4 basic skill groups. So just like there's 4 basic groups for eating and nourishment, there's 4 basic skill groups in learning how to love. And the first one is how you show up. So showing up means that when you make a promise to somebody, that you actually keep it. Showing up means that you actually make agreements with people about what it means to be there for each other, to hold each other's back. So that might mean watching chick flicks even if you don't want to. That might mean ironing shirts even if you don't want to. That might mean picking up kids or dropping kids off. It means a whole bunch of different things to different people. You just have to come up with your own definitions and actually do what you agree on. So that's showing up. And the second place is communicating. And maybe the communicating should be the first place. But if you don't communicate, and what does communicating really come down to? It doesn't mean anything ultimately about what you say to somebody, because the truth is that even somebody you love, you're not going to tell them anything. Sorry to disappoint you, but really nobody tells anybody anything. But when you're in an intimate relationship and you expect to go to bed with somebody, what it really means is listen. It means listening. So when somebody feels heard, deeply heard by you, that means that they also feel felt. And that sense of feeling felt is why we actually marry people. It's why we actually date people. It's why we actually want to go to bed with them. So if you want to get communication right in your relationship, just don't talk. Listen. There's a great quote that says, "We were given 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we listen twice as much." And believe me, it's taken me a long time to learn how much that's true. But trust me, it is. Okay, so we've gotten showing up, we've gotten communication, which is really listening. And the third piece is how we think. And how we think is the ground of our relationships. And if your brain is polluted continuously with what is wrong, and mostly what's wrong with you. So if your brain is not geared toward positive thinking, and you're constantly being bombarded with 60,000 negative thoughts a day, it's very hard to receive any love. And a lot of times we actually will hold our relationships hostage to our negative thinking. So being able to get a handle on your own thinking, to have good thoughts about yourself, good thoughts about your partner, and good thoughts about what you're trying to create with somebody is the bedrock that you build everything else on. And if you're not doing it, start today. The last piece is how you relate intimately. That's like the fire piece of a relationship. And you know, here's the thing. You can't build a fire where there's no ground. So if you're living in a marsh, don't expect to be like caught up in a fiery, passionate relationship. It's not going to happen. Say you have fairly decent thoughts and you're pretty kind with each other. but you never show up for each other, well, then that relationship is not safe. So the safety mechanism is how you show up for each other. And the third piece, that communication thing about learning to listen, that's actually whether there's air between you, whether there's a currency that happens between you. And all of those things create a dynamic that allow you to actually build, that allow you to dive into an intimate place. So that's the magic of finding long-lasting, passionate love. And believe me, I'm in 30 years. I have the best sex life I've ever had in my life. And I work at it every day. But it's not about working at it in the bedroom. It's not about more toys, even though I sell toys. You know, I would say that my products help. But if I wasn't doing all those other things, forget it. It's going nowhere.